when you walk into a shop and you go and look at a helmet, you just had the experience now, you went and bought helmets at the beginning of the year. What is, according to you, the most important parts to look at when I go buy a helmet? What's the first and important stuff you look at? Go on, you don't know what's the other thing. You'll have a longer ray op. Okay, it has to sit comfortably and sturdy around my head, okay?
I usually just ask what's the best quality helmet.
Okay, cool. So you just ask and then how it fits in your head, how it feels. Alright, that's what's important for you. And what wil jy sê? It has to be comfortable on your head, okay? Enige ander punt wat jy na kyk. What do you else do when you go look at if you go buy a helmet?
Sunglasses.
Sorry?
Built-in shades.
Okay, you want the built-in, the tilt down for, okay?
Google and see whether the thing's got some good reviews somewhere.
Okay, Google. I'll do the same when I go. I'm big into running nowadays, so I Google everything before I buy. You all actually forgot the most important part that I tell people. The color of the helmet. Here, your helmet has to look cool, guys. Bloody hell, everything, I tell everyone, everything we do on a bike, whatever we do, it is to have the image. So when that photo comes out that I can go on Facebook, but man, it has to be proper.
We agree, we just didn't want to admit it.
Yeah, you don't want to say it. It's the same as they say, why is Honda always red? So you don't see the blood. Okay. Alright guys, now the most important part is when I go look at a helmet, when I go buy a helmet, on a helmet, the price is, I don't want to say irrelevant, but that's not the most important part I go look for. Is what I go look out for on a helmet is, does the helmet comply to certain safety standards? There's safety standards out there in the world that a helmet needs to comply to. And no, it's not SABS safety standards. It's international safety standards that the helmet needs to comply to. That's why you can go to Macro and there's a helmet for $500 and you can go to a bike shop and suddenly they're a bit more expensive. Now, the safety standards that we're looking at there is three main safety standards out there in the world. The one is called DOT. On the back of your helmet, there will be a sticker that says DOT, and that stands for Department of Transport. That is an American standard. It's brought over. It's not one of the best standards, but it is still a standard that the helmet complies to and it is good. The other standard that we get, and a common one in South Africa, is what we call the ECE standard. Now on the inside of your helmet, on your tags, mine has now been washed off, but on the inside of your tag, oh here we go, you'll see there's a E on the inside. You'll look on your helmet or on the back, there will be an E, the physical letter E, with a number behind it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever. The number behind the E doesn't mean a number. Let's say you get an E1, you get an E9. The E9 isn't better than the 1. That's the European standard and states in which European country the helmet was built. So that's what the code tells you. The country, Italy, France, Germany, where was the helmet actually built? So that's what your number will tell you. So that's the ECE standard, very good standard, very comfortable as well. You'll actually see on your car, your bar, windscreens, everything has got an ECE standard. And then another standard is called the SNELL standard. The back of the helmet, there'll be a sticker saying SNELL. Also excellent standard, but not very common in South Africa. So the first thing I look at, does my helmet comply to a safety standard? Yes or no? Cool, that throws the first question then out. The other thing about a helmet is, who knew that their helmet actually has got a lifespan? Your helmet has got a lifespan of 5 to 7 years. So we work on a 5-year safety, because it's a 5 to 7 year lifespan. Now what means is, the important part about a lifespan, it's not 5 years since the date you bought it. It's 5 years since the date of manufacturing. That's the important part. How do I see the manufacturing date? If I take all my padding on the inside of the helmet, can be taken out and washed, so all your snot and your shit doesn't stay in it. If you take the padding out, on the inside of the helmet there will be a date stamp. May 2016, June 2018, whatever. There'll be a physical, and it's 5 years from that date that the helmet is safety. Now what's important is, why is there lifespan? If I look at a helmet, this outside shell doesn't protect my head. On the inside, this padding doesn't protect my head. That's there for comfort. Between this outside shell and in between here, that padding, in between the helmet, it looks like polystyrene balls. If you buy a new TV screen and you take a TV screen out, you've got that polyester solid white board. It looks like that, little foam balls. Because what a helmet does is a helmet, if I have an accident, the energy that's being formed when the helmet hits the ground cannot disappear. Energy cannot disappear. It can only be transferred. So what a helmet does is it takes the impact and it transfers it over the whole area of the head. So you don't have a solid impact on one section of your head, it transfers it. Now what happens is, after 5 years, that material starts becoming rock hard. It doesn't absorb the impact anymore, and the impact goes straight through. That's why they always also say is, if you read your owner safety manual of your helmet, it will say after a hard impact fall, take your helmet in for x-rays at your dealers. Our dealers doesn't have that equipment, and neither do I have that money to pay for x-ray for my helmet. But what it comes down to is, after a hard impact fall, they say your helmet can be thrown away. Because what happens is, that foam has absorbed the impact. Now it's moved away from the outer shell, and it creates an air bubble in between. You cannot see it. Next time you fall, that's a weak point, and the helmet shatters. So a helmet has got a lifespan of 5 to 7 years. So when you go buy a helmet, look at when the helmet was done. Boy, that's the reason why sometimes you walk into a shop, yeah, that cool helmet, that was always 9,000 grand, that I always wanted in my life. It's suddenly, today, less 75% going for 2,500, 3,000, maybe more. Yeah, so that's a no-brainer. I'm buying it right now. It's the end of its lifespan. They need to get it out of the store. So that's the type of thing you'll go look for, is the lifespan. So ECE standard, and then when was the helmet manufactured is what I look at. Other than that, then it comes down to personal preference. You've got two types of systems. You've got these shackles to tighten, you've got clamps. They're both equally safe, but if you would want to go racing, you can only race with these shackles. Can't be the quick release clips. They say this is more safer, they say. But for us on the roads, they're both equally safe. And then I can start looking at a sun visor in. I can start looking at a peak, a visor. What's the reason that a dual purpose helmet is shaped like or a motocross helmet has got that shape and an on-road helmet doesn't? On-road helmet is round. What's the reason for it? Anyone know? Because it looks cooler.
For branches.
Okay, for branches.
Yeah.
Alright, any other reasons? Main reason is, firstly, the shape that we have here is, so when my head hits the handlebars, I've got something to absorb it, so if I suddenly go in, it's not straight up against me because we're moving much more on our bikes. And the main reason for the visor is dust. Sun glare combined with dust means I can't see anything. You'll see if you ride with a normal helmet, again, like an adventure helmet, this makes it much better for dust. Flip open, non-flip open, personal point of preference. Interesting part just about a flip open face helmet. A flip open face helmet, there's only one flip open face helmet that was tested open and closed to get its ECE standard. Most flip open face helmets like yours, when it was tested, the visor was down. Easy way to see it. A flip open face helmet like his, if I quickly, I'm going to borrow yours, David. How do I see it? This visor, the helmet is open. This visor can't get to my eyes. So I don't have a visor in front of my eyes. So it was tested down. The only helmet you get is a shark helmet, where the peak and the visor is two separate stuff, and this peak comes all the way to the back of the helmet, and the visor can still work independently. All other helmets like this, tested, head down. I'm not going to go into details about jackets and pants and that type of stuff. If you've got any questions regarding jackets or pants, please ask away, but it's two different points covering your bike side and what we on the event. It's two different elements that we need to cater for. On a motorbike boot, most important part about boots, if we quickly go into detail, I'm not going to go into extremely detail, I'm just going to touch on element points. When I buy motorcycle boots, always buy one size bigger than what your actual shoe size is. That's the most important part. Die other size,
Why is
and
that?
omdat hy sit verskriklik styf. So your voete moet kan beweeg. Anders what happens is it sits way too tight. Same as a running shoe. I don't know if that's running. If you do running, you always go for half a size to one size bigger because your feet actually swell. So the longer time you spend in it, what happens is your foot begins swell after time. After constantly standing on it, putting pressure on it, your feet, with the blood flow going to your feet start swelling up. And it needs space to move inside your... And any uncomfort feet in your boots, after 2-3 days worth of riding, you want to throw those shoes away if you're doing a long distance tour. So always go. General rule of thumb is one size bigger. It's the general rule of thumb that we always work on there. The other important part is what we're looking on an adventure bike. We're looking for hard tip toes to the front of the shoe. I don't have motorcycle boots on now, so I can't use the example here, but I'm looking at how hard the front of my boot. The reason for that is, if I hit something, it must be able to not bend in and damage my toes. That's why off-road boots have got the steel tip toes. We just don't normally prefer the steel tip on the adventure bike, and they scratch my pain as I put my legs over. That's the reason why the adventure bike, they don't do it, because it might scratch your pain. But out of a safety aspect, steel tip toes are the best. Other points that I'm looking for is just general comfort when my foot is in. Then the general rule of thumb is the higher up the boot comes, the more protection, the less safety. The higher up, the more protection, the less comfort. The lower down the boot, the more comfort, the less safety. The most important part I'm just looking for is it must be higher than my ankles. The boot is lower than my ankle, it is almost useless in a sense, because otherwise your ankle can twist and move inside it. The stiffer the boot, the more protection, the less comfort. The easier the boot is, the more comfort, the less protection. If you're riding, commuting a lot, you don't need aggressive boots like that, because they're there for aggressive off-road riding where my feet can twist and turn when I'm riding off-road. If I'm putting it in a hole and there's a rock and my ankle can twist. If I'm going up into Africa, Namibia or sands, I'm doing very off-road riding, then it's always better to go for a more off-road boot. You just have to depend on what type of riding you're looking at. Also, there's a keyhole there.
Oh yeah?
That's right, there's one there. Clip the seat out. Okay, now the seat comes out. Underneath this bike, there's your fuse boxes. So if any fuse would be blown, there's your fuel box fuses. There's no other fuses on the bike. That's it. Okay. As ek hier kyk, twee klippies daar. If I put the seat back normally, that's the normal seat height that it was just on now. Now, I want it to clip. Now it means it's clipping there. I want it to clip on the next one. So what do you do with the seat is, you actually push it, just the normal way, like that. Now vat jy hom and you wedge it in deeper. Now you put it at the front. And there it's slower. So all I do is I wedge this section here, or wedge deep in. If I want to, so I sit now op die fiets, op. It's still full, you know. So it's gone down by 30 mil, 3 centimeters. This is the height. That the seat is dropped now.
It's easier to handle.
Personal preference. I don't enjoy it like that because it feels like I'm too crammed with my knees.
Yeah, and also the thing is long distance riding.
Exactly, but it's personal. It's personal preference on the seat. Luckily, it's easy to switch, to change. Now the other point is your battery and your toolbox on your bike. Take the seat out. Underneath your seat, you've got one tool on the bike. Allen key. That's it. If you look under your seat, you can search it through. That's what you have. The reason for that is for weight transfer. They moved your battery and your toolbox, everything to the side. This is your toolbox on your bike. Behind the toolbox is your battery. Do not lose this Allen key, otherwise you cannot get to it. Or if you lose it, just make sure you have an Allen key in your backpack and that. Here's an idiot after I. There's 2 Allen key bolts. There's one. 2. This box comes out. Behind it sits your battery. In this box is your tools. What's very important on the Africa Twin is when they designed the toolbox, the Japanese almost sort of forgot that we're riding with tubes, and when you have a puncture, you need to take your wheels out. There's no tools in there to take your front to your rear wheel out. So as you op 'n toer gaan, most bikes have got a toolbox there that's got the bolts and nuts to take your wheels out. This one doesn't. They normally say, how do you check the quality of a car or a bike? You open the toolbox, the less tools there are, the better the car and the bike. And same here, look at a KTM toolbox, if you see here, over here, it's got everything you can imagine in your life. You don't need to take any tools with. Honda, we don't have that, we're very minimalistic. What tools you need to take with, that you need to buy extra? On the Africa Twin, it's 3 tools. It's a 22 bolt, it's a 27 for this side. You undo those 2 bolts, okay? On the front wheel here, I've got again a 22 wide bolt, so we'll take the front wheel, and I need a 12 to undo those pinch bolts. So I need a 27, a 22, and a 12. That's the only tools that the Africa Twin needs afterwards. Okay, enige ander vrae? Enige ander vrae met die tools en daai gemix? Okay, perfect. Cool. Alright, jy het 'n center stand op jou fietsie, né?
Yes.
Alright, kan ek jou fietsie nog gebruik?
Ja, sure.
Alright guys, you can all stand closer now. Now we're going to start covering riding a motorbike. What we focus on is riding off-road. That's where our mindset is. For julle is maklik, julle gaan net grondpad ry. So julle mindset is pretty much straightforward, easy in that sense. So, when I'm riding off-road, what's better? Sitting or standing?
Well, standing because your center of gravity is lower.
Okay, standing because the center of gravity is right. Sê die res van julle.
Ek dink dit hang af.
Hang af.
Maar ek dink ek het agtergekom standing kan jy amper enigiets doen.
Okay, staan het jy baie meer weke enigiets doen, jy word nie so moeg nie. Okay. Wat sê julle? You can also
You can see further.
You can see further.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So, the general rule of thumb is, firstly, when I stand up again on a motorbike, it looks flippin' cool. I mean a photo, it just looks so much better.
Don't worry, you're on video.
Cool, that's it, but I'm happy, I'll put it up here. It's so cool when I'm standing. Alright, the general rule is, when I ride off-road, I stand. The main reasons for standing is, firstly, my center of gravity has moved to a lower point. If I'm seated, my weight, I'm feeling today like I'm 86. No, today I'm 86. I'm actually 92, but anyway, today I'm 86. 86 kgs is on the seat, on the top here. If I stand up, weight has moved to the foot pegs. So the center of gravity has gone down. So the bike's not that top heavy. The other thing is, when I'm standing, I can see further ahead. I can see more what's happening. When I'm seated here, I can't see that much. The other thing of standing is my legs are second shock absorbers. So the impact doesn't feel that hard. When it's a very bumpy off-road road, the legs absorb the impact. And the other reason that standing helps us a lot with standing, we can move much easier and faster and react to the bike. Generally, when we're seated down, we're a sack of potatoes. On sit, you get lazy, you don't move. Now, which one is better? Again, personal choice depending on where you are. What I'm going to be covering is, I'm going to be covering today, I'm going to be covering both. How do I sit and how do I stand? Most people tell you when you ride off-road, you only stand. You see the smallest bit of gravel road, you stand. What we try and believe and teach people is, the main reason why we're coming to these courses is so we can enjoy our products more, our bikes, we can enjoy riding more, and I can use less energy. By using less energy, I'm feeling better at the end of the day, I'm not that tired, and I can enjoy my ride more because I can do it. So, when I'm riding, and it's an easy gravel road, sit, enjoy it. Yes, these chaps have created a wonderful seat on this bike. That's more gemakkelijk. So you don't, we're going to be covering a lot of standing today, but it doesn't mean you only ever stand. So, let's cover it now. Let's start with seated. If I sit on my bike, very easy on this bike, I've got 2 seats. On your bike, you've got a single seat. So where do I sit on my bike? Okay, if I sit on my bike, I want to sit where the rear shock absorber comes up into the bike. Exactly where the rear shock absorber is. That's where my weight is. My foot pegs, my hips, and my shoulders. Everything is in line. That means ek sit nie hier agter nie. I want to sit in the middle. Hierdie fiets jy dan nou so seat weg. Jy hou net ook 'n single seat. So dis waar jy wil sit. Jy wil lekker in nie. Where the rear shock absorber comes up. Heels, hips, shoulders, everything in line. That's where I sit. The more off-road orientated, faster, aggressively I'm riding, for you two guys now, the more forward I move. Reason for that is, it sounds weird, but on off-road riding, I want weight on the front wheel. You think it's the opposite. Actually, I want weight on the front. If I've got weight on the front, I've got traction on the front wheel. Excluding sand. Sand, I don't want weight. Okay,
It's
so
interesting, the guy we had advanced said he takes half a tennis ball, put it in the middle of that seat, and if you feel it on the back of your bum, you're too far back.
yeah. So that's the thing, you want to sit forward and into the bike. So seated, lekker comfortably, this is where I sit. Hands on the handlebar, nice, comfortable, easy. Now what I look at is elbows up. Why is my elbows up? Why do I say elbows up and not down? What's the reason for that?
More movement.
More movement, okay, that's right. You can beweeg, okay. What it is when my elbows are up, I get power from my shoulder blades. When my elbows are down, I only get power from my forearms. And normally guys that have been single for very long have got stronger forearms, but that's there. Elbows up.
I'm going to have to make this video PG rated.
Yeah, you're gonna have to get PG-13 there, you'll see there. So, elbows up, get power from the shoulder blade. So now what happens is, I can move much easier. We're gonna focus a lot today on elbows up. The other reason, elbows down is, if I suddenly hit a rock, yes, to get this hit inside your rubber cast here, it's a more of an impact that you're getting up. So, elbows nicely up. Fingers. How many fingers do I use on my levers? How many fingers do I use on my clutch? How many fingers do I use on my brakes? Two. Yeah, let's say 2. How do you ride? 2. So you ride 2. 2. What's the reason that you say that? What's the reason that you use 2 and not 4?
You have control over both. You can.
Okay. What we're gonna do is everyone put your right wrist in the air. Make it closed. So this is your accelerator. Open the accelerator. Blah 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 blah. Lekker. Roll them. Lekker. Cool. 2 fingers out. Now roll it. Feel the restriction you have in your movement. So already by having 2 fingers out, I'm much more restricted on the throttle. I don't get that throttle happy sense that I'm riding. The other reason is that we use less fingers. I ride 2-1. If it's very technical, I ride 1-1. If it's comfortable, I ride 2 fingers on the clutch, 2 fingers on the brakes. The other reason is the less fingers I have, the more feeling I have with what's happening with my clutch and my brake. It's not a clutch. I get used only a clutch, but it's not a drop the clutch, release the clutch, grab the brakes, leave the brakes. Everything has to be smooth and gentle and all that. So I've got feeling what's happening underneath my fingers. The less fingers, the more feeling. The more fingers, the less feeling. Again. The other reason as well is when we're riding off-road, we're riding very bumpy and rocky terrain. If I have 4 fingers on my handlebar, no matter how hard, if I've got 4 fingers on my lever here, no matter how hard I hold onto my handlebar, the hand can slide off. You can feel it. You can hold onto your brake and slide your hand off. As hard as you want to hold, it will slide off. You've got 2 fingers, now suddenly I'm gripping with those fingers. Now my hands can't slide off. Alright, so bum nicely in the middle, shoulders up, elbows out, 2 fingers, eye up. General rule of sitting down. Cool, you can go ride off-road, dankie julle tot ziens. Okay, now on big adventure bikes, guys, we don't do what I'm going to tell them with the legs later on. Why? 254 kgs I'm sitting at here. That arm and leg's not going to do much for all that weight.
You're
All right.
sitting on an elephant putting
Yeah.
out your leg. It's not going to
Not going to do
gonna
much.
do it.
Okay. So, standing up. If I stand up, same principle. Straight in line where the rear shock absorber is. What I do with my knees are, I just slightly unbend my knees. I don't go sit on my haunches. Because then 5 minutes in, yes, and I'm going to be dead tired. So, slightly bend the knees. What I do with my back and my shoulder, I never do bend the back forward. Because then lower back starts becoming a problem. So all I do with my shoulders is neck slightly bent, shoulders rolled forward. If I am here, all I do is roll the shoulders forward. Where I'm standing now, I must be feeling, yeah, not too bad actually. I can work with this. This is kind of lekker. Now again, elbows out, two finger. Juist makkelijk, 2 finger, well, full hand on your DCT. Cool, lekker, comfortable. Now, turning to the right. What do we say? Move the weight outside. But what's important is, again, don't do this, the weight isn't here. The weight is in the bum. So, move the bum. What's important is my shoulders always stay in line with the handlebar. So if the handlebar turns, my shoulder turns. If the handlebar turns, my shoulder turns. I don't do that because then my weight doesn't move. As soon as I turn my shoulders, my weight starts moving. So, in line with the shoulders. In line with the shoulders, nice comfortably. Now it is outside elbow up, inside arm, straight. Now what we also do is, very important, especially on the off-road scrambler bike when you're riding at speed. Knees. What do I do with my knees? When I'm turning, a lot of people, they open their knee up to get the weight out. Lekker. Now can I sit and I can get the weight nicely down, center of gravity, spot on, lekker, low. If I hit a rock, the only thing that's stopping me from going forward is my arms. And my arms can't act enough. And then you get this blow, hit this and then you look right. It's not lekker. Really. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt, don't do it. Okay. So what I need to do is, the general rule of thumb with bike riding is, at any given stage when I'm riding a motorbike, I must be able to take my hands off the handlebar. Any given stage when riding a motorbike. Unless I'm flipping doing that motocross freestyle stuff where they're flipping underneath the bike and they're holding onto the handlebar. Other than that, at any given time, hands must be able to go off the handlebar. Why? Because your wheel needs to move freely. Your bike needs to do that. It needs to move. So what keeps me onto my bike? My knees. So when I'm turning, knees in against the tank and they pinch you. So now I cannot move forward. My knees always stay in. Okay, I'll go into more detail. I'll go to each of you and we'll do an exercise now. Any questions so far?
Position of feet, you haven't covered that.
Position of feet.
Yeah, is it in the arch of your feet or the balls of your feet?
Well, what my feet is, at this stage of time there's two ways what it means with position of feet is. Your foot pegs can either be on the arch of your feet or you can be on your toes. We generally talk is when I'm riding sand riding and I'm riding very rocky terrain where there's a lot of movement that's happening. I'll go backwards to the toes of my bike. So my feet, so I've got more movement of my legs. So I've got a bigger shock absorber going on. I can't get to my gear lever or my brake lever now. And the arch of the feet is normally perfect for normal riding we will normally be going. For today's given stage, just keep the feet middle in the arch. We'll normally be riding. Don't worry about moving back. And like I said, the big advantage of this is more shock absorber. Alright, so that's the general rule of standing, going around corners. Okay. Any other questions so far? Nothing. Okay, perfect.
Net een beetje meer trots dan zo dreig.
one. Elbows out, looking up. Now I want to start accelerating to catch my mate, or yes, I just got out of this corner, I want to get this back end out, play a little, lekker. So I'm going to give some little go-go juice. That's what we call it, lekker go-go juice. What do I do with my weight if I want to accelerate? Do I go forward? Do I stay in the middle? Or do I go back? What do I want to do with my weight? Forward, forward. Why do you say forward?
Because the active acceleration is going to lift the front.
Okay, that's the exact thing. If I'm accelerating hard, what's going to happen is the bike's going to accelerate and it's going to pull forward. So what will naturally happen is, same as you're accelerating a car, you move backwards in your seat. So what will happen is gravity will try and pull you, not gravity, whatever the correct word, will try and pull you, will try and force you backwards. So I want to pre-emphasize that, oh shit, because now if I accelerate and I start leaning back, look what's happened to the front wheel. Now suddenly, hey, like a wheelie. Alright, and that's not what I want. I want to have traction and control over my front wheel at all times. So if I want to accelerate out of a corner or in a straight, what I do with my weight is I move forward. Now again, weight sits in the middle area here, guys. So it's not forward. That's not forward because I'm pushing the weight back. So bring my hips forward. Easy way. How do I know I brought my hip forward? Think if there was a sticker on the front of your bike, you must be able to read the sticker comfortably. So yeah, you sticker is, or if you on the front, your Honda on front, whatever, you must be able to read the sticker that's in front of your motorbike. That's forward. Now I'm in attack position. Now I'm going. Now I'm accelerating. Nicely forward. Okay. Now I'm coming and there's a corner or on a brake. What do I do with my corner? With my weight? Okay, you say back, what do I say? Stay in the middle, stay in the front. If I want to close the throttle off, yeah, I want to decelerate now. Go backwards. Why do you say go back?
Opposite.
Okay. If I'm slowing down, I don't want weight on the front because the front end then can dive in and dig into the ground and it would either slide out or I'll do an unplanned endo front wheel stop. It will look really cool if your mate's got a GoPro on. Okay, so what I want to do is, before I close my throttle, I'll start moving my weight backwards. So I'm pre-emphasizing that. Now, if I want to apply the brakes or whatever, I'm already in the correct position. Why do I do it before? Because if I start braking or slowing down and my weight's already in the middle, momentum is pushing me forward. Now I need to fight momentum, where if I'm keeping a constant momentum, I can easily move back or forward and accelerate. Move back and decelerate. So, but in terms of using it on a more advanced level, if you were to think about it, going through the corner, before the corner, slow down, turn. In the corner, move forward, accelerate. And back. So that's how this, so it's a rowing motion. So, what we're going to be doing now is, we're going to just doing acceleration and deceleration exercise. You'll be riding up and down here, move forward, accelerate. How fast? As fast as you want to. Like that. Okay. And then we're gonna decelerate. Accelerate, decelerate. I'm gonna gear up and I'm gonna show you what the exercise must look like. I'm gonna show you how I want you to do it. So the normal speed I want you guys to do it at, nice and easy. And then I'm going to show you how it looks like when we want to start going faster. Okay. can see is I move my weight first, then I accelerate. Move my weight back first, then I decelerate. Now I'm going to do the same exercise, just much faster. That's the exact same exercise, just much shorter distance in between. So you can find your sweet spot in between that area. So what I want to do is get up, right up and down, play on your own, focus on weight forward, accelerate, weight backwards, decelerate, and eyes up. Exactly what you did with your exercise. I was riding.
Keeps accelerating.
I'm like that. Why is the bike going back? Because where's my weight? On the back wheel. So if I pull in the front wheel, there's no weight in the front wheel. The back's got all the weight. So I need to push the back. So what I do is, when I ride in a scenario like this, first thing I do is, I stall the bike. Now the bike is standing on its gearbox. So now I can take a breather. Okay, cool. Okay, not that bad. What am I going to do? On this scenario, I just want to go straight back, but in a controlled manner. So now what I do is, because the bike is stalled, my clutch can act as a rear brake. And I use my front. All I do is my front and my rear brake simultaneously. I brake, release, brake, release. And now look at what happens with the bike. Now, I'm slowly controlling it. And if I feel it's running too fast, let go. Now all I'm doing is I'm just riding the bike backwards till it's nice and comfortable, and I can go up again. That's the first exercise I'm going to do. The second exercise, now I'm riding up and I discover, there's some food all the way up. To do this exercise all the way back, it's going to take too long. It might have twists and turns in it. So, as I realize I'm not going to make it, I turn my bike sideways. Now what all I do behind this is, I want to turn my bike around on the uphill, so I can ride it back down, and then ride it up. Now what's important is, first thing I do is when I stop is, which leg did I put out? Left one. Why not the right leg? Because the right leg will take me down towards gravity. And that's a big no-no now, because now the bike and me will be one at the bottom. Alright, so what I do is I stop both brakes. All the weight on this leg, leaning the bike slightly over. Why do I lean the bike over? So if it needs to fall, it falls uphill. That's not so bad. It's not falling down. So, bike on its side. Where do I want to go? Back down. So where do I look? Where I want to go. All I'm going to do now is, I'm going to turn the handlebar. Look what happens to the bike. The bike turns around to the point where I'm comfortable. What's important is, if you're at a point now, don't turn your handlebar immediately to go down. You don't have momentum if you're going to fall. First go straight, and then turn. Alright. So, socket skew. Bang, 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 bang. Write it down. Okay.
Good. Front brake and clutch together. That's it. Too much. See what happened? Too much. You gave it too much. It's actually just like this. Do this. That's it. That's it. You were trying too much. You were